I am still more Tiger than Maxima.
Okay, here's a look at Robot Toys RT-04 Zhou. And I already went over the box and the instructions and the accessories and everything that this figure comes with, so I don't need to go over all of these things again, but I'll just show you again. Here's a look at all the accessories that this comes with, and I will go in detail on these a little bit later. But now let's just start taking a closer look at the figure. And you could see that this is a really nicely sculpted figure, nicely painted, that metallic turquoise color, nicely proportioned, good amount of articulation. The engineering for the transformation is done really well. There is a little tricky part. You just have to know how to manipulate it properly so you don't pop off his head. But yeah, this also comes with a lot of cool features such as the lights. But here you could see the mouth does open and it's nicely painted. That's really nice. And also his eyes, you can articulate them too. So they kind of copied the masterpiece design here. But instead of putting the eyes on the bottom, they put them on the top. And this opens up higher. So that's something in product design that you learn. You know, if you're going to copy things from someone else, you want to, you know, do things a little bit differently. So they did something a little different there. So that's cool. And, you know, in terms of the articulation, he does have a little bit of a, what do you call that? His arms can go out a little bit. And because it's a four-legged animal, you could see he does have all the articulation for the joints. I don't want to mess up, so I can keep him standing on all four legs. And his tail does go up and down, but there's no rotation because it's not on a ball joint. But other than that, yeah, the head also does go up and down. It's not on a ball joint, so it can't go side to side all around. So a little limited on the head and the tail. But overall, this is really nice, nicely sculpted, and nicely proportioned. So now let's just do some comparisons. So here, let's bring out the original Tigatron, but this is the Takata Tomy, the Telemoka series, which this one is painted to be a little bit more toon accurate. It's specifically his head. His head is more cartoon accurate. He does have a green faceplate instead of silver. And the original toys, these were actually kind of cool. This actually had this gimmick where you could take this off and you can put it in some water and then, you know, suck up the water here into this container, and then you could squirt water. So that's a cool gimmick. And those are the kinds of things they will do for kids, and that's my main point. This is a mainline retail figure, so all the designs and features and stuff were made to accommodate for kids. But anyways, you could see the more toon accurate original version of Tigatron by Takata. And then there was the Hasbro Kingdom Tigatron. And yeah, all I'm gonna say pretty much all the time with Hasbro is that this is a mainline retail figure. This is a toy, so that should explain a lot of the limitations and lack of detail, articulation, stuff like that, and waffles that people complain about, because it's targeted for kids. And unfortunately, this does not have, you know, nice little features here like this water shooting thing. So the Hasbro is going a little bit cheaper. But anyways, here you could see the Tigatron. This one's sculpted to be a little bit more realistic. This one, look at this one's sculpted to be more cartoon accurate. This one's not even close. So yeah, that's kind of the stuff Hasbro always does. And I don't know if it's just a fading, but you could see the color is off. It's white and it's kind of yellowing. But anyways, there's a look at the Hasbro Kingdom version. And then let's zoom out And let's try to get a group shot here of all these guys and bring out the masterpiece version. So here is the masterpiece version, and here you could see yeah, both of these are nicely sculpted. There's just more nice sculpted details like on the legs, you know, his feet. And that's because this is a masterpiece. You know, they have more room to do a better job sculpting. But I will tell you that, man, I think a lot of people already know a lot of the Takata Beast Wars figures. It's really frustrating and annoying transforming it. And see, just a little bringing it out already caused these panel pieces to come apart. And then when you're trying to put all these together, this is really frustrating and annoying. And I basically call this a panel former, because there's just so many of these panels that you need to line up, tab in, and lock in, secure in place. This is really, really frustrating and annoying transforming this and some of their other masterpiece Beast Wars figures. So I'm saying that just to let you know, I may not transform this to robot mode to show you the comparisons. But yeah, you could see there are a lot of cool features here. This one, I was telling you how they kind of copied the same. So the eyebrows, they do open up on the coming up, but you could see the eyes here are on the bottom, and up here they did something different. They put it on the top and they made it open up a little bit wider so it's easy to have access to rotate it. So there's some difference. And this doesn't have any other features other than a really complicated transformation design. There is no light features that this one has. So that's my plug-in for, you know, calling these mini masterpiece, because, you know, this does a lot of what the masterpiece does, but it does have a little bit more. But anyways, there's here's a look at some comparisons with some of the other versions of the Tigatron. And yeah, let's just try to give you just more look of Tigatron all around, even from his rear, so you could see, yeah, these are all the different versions of Tigatron that we have. So now let's take these guys aside, and then we will now take a look at some other comparisons. So Robot Toys also made the Cheetor. So here, now you could see what Tigatron looks like next to Cheetor. Both of these figures are really nice mini masterpiece figures. And look at the scale and proportion. That's pretty accurate. Tigatron was always bigger than Cheetor. So here's a look at him next to Cheetor. And then they did make a Optimus Primal, but I didn't get it because it's too stylized. It's not really tune accurate. And since I already had the original Takata Tomy Telemoka, and this one they scaled it down from that huge original Optimus Primal to be more tune accurate, so he's smaller. And they also colored and painted it, so he is a little bit more tune accurate with some eyes and the gray instead of the black. So yeah, I'm happy with this. And more importantly, you could see it does look like it scales pretty nice together. And then there was the Transform Element came out with their rat trap. This is a really nice rat trap, nicely sculpted. This is a pretty nice figure. And I think he also scales pretty well with these other figures also, right? Yeah, I think that looks good. And then there was also the original Rhinox, but this is, again, Takata Tomy's the Telemoka. So you could see this one is a little bit more tune accurate. He does have eyes. They did paint some gums and teeth in here. So even from way back then, Takata was always focused on, you know, aesthetics, capturing the tune aesthetics. And then they did have the Dinobot, but I didn't like it, so I sold it at a yard sale. And I didn't get the Telemuka because there was the Takata Henkei version, or the Hasbro was the classics, which did not look as good as the Takata Henkei. And I decided to keep this one for my Dinobot. And so far, as a fill-in for my Legend scale Beast Wars, I think it does scale pretty nice, right? And then we cannot have Tigatron without Air Razor. And here, this is the original Air Razor. And yeah, I think this is looks good as a fill-in. So hopefully Robot Toys will give us a Air Razor after they finish their Waspinator and Tarantulas. And I think they're also making, what's his name? Rampage? Yeah. So you know that they're going to make all of them. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. So here you could see what this looks like. This is a nice set. So I'm really looking forward to having a collection of the Legend Scale Mini Masterpiece Beast Wars by Robot Toys. So now, let's go ahead and transform Tigatron to his robot mode and take a look at that. Okay, to transform Tigatron to his robot mode, let's start with the bottom first. So let's start untabbing things, spreading things out, opening things up, untabbing the tail from the top here. And you could see there's the tab and the slot. So you just pull that down, untab it. And then this is going to be his back. So here you could see there's a tab and a slot. So bring it up all the way. And then the tail also is going to come down and just fit right in there. And then the tail actually comes up. You could see the little tab and the slot up there. Tab that in, and then there's a hinge, and then you could fold down the tail. So you could see how it folds up. That's really nice. And then his legs, now we can first extend his legs out to straighten it. And then there's a lot of rotations here. Rotation, rotation, rotation. Okay, so now let's just start on the top. Let's rotate his hips around 180. And like I said, this is his back, this is his front. And so also this little back piece, it's on a ball joint, so rotate it around 180 and then flip it up. And then now his legs, you want to rotate it at the knees. So now these are facing forward. And then bring down his feet. And then these are also going to rotate around 180. And then now you could see you need to fold down these tiger legs. So lift up this paw piece for the tiger leg. And then you can bring that up. And then this is now the front of his foot. Rotate it around 180. And then he does have a heel. So you want to bring that heel out, which now gives a little room to fold this piece up and in like so. So here doing it all over again. So rotate this around 180, forming his foot. And then we want to bring down his paw here, the tiger foot. And then you're going to bring this down here. And then you need to flip out this heel, which gives now the room to fold this up and in. And now we have his legs all done. Now let's just get them all straightened up at a nice H stance. And then we can come up a little bit more. Now we can work on this upper part. So first, obviously, you need to untab these tiger legs from the center body, and tolerance here is a little tight, so you have to apply some force just to get 2 tabs untabbed, and you could see that this is not as easy as just, you know, untabbing it. So there's the 2 tabs and the 2 slots, and they didn't give like a little groove, but you have to try to get it in there. That was a little bit easier, so I guess maybe just try go straight into that little slot in between. That should loosen them up, and then you untab it, and then you bring these out to the side. You can rotate them down. So again, this is his back and this is his front, and now we can lift this up and then separate these 2 halves, which are going to form his arms. And then this part is really tricky, trying to get his head out and rotate this around 180 without popping off his head. So there are things that you need to know, to be aware of. So there's this little panel piece up here first, that right here, that you need to untab, and it's a little hard to get to. So let me see if I can stick a little wedge in there, or actually just push his head back. Dumb. And then now you have the room here to now pull this down, and then you could see his head's coming up a little bit, and you need to rotate this head around 180, and you just need to make sure you're rotating it all within that clearance that you have, and you just have to be careful. It will work. I'm taking my time to show you, just to prove to you you can transform it without popping the head, but it's knowing how to do that. And then, like I said, now this piece needs to rotate around 180, and here you could see you need the clearance. So the back of his head, you could see the little wall right here. It rotates around, and this is the part that gets tricky here. So as you're rotating this side, you could see it's hitting, and this is where you need to bring this up so you have the clearance to rotate this around. See, so it's like, you know, it's like this angled shape. So see, so basically you just have to be aware of all of that, and then just to be able to rotate it without popping off his head, and then you can push it in once you get it out. And then after all of that, now we can straighten out the rest of this. Coming back to the back, you could see there are 2 tabs here for the 2 slots on the tiger legs. Just find the tab and the slot, line it up, tab it in, and then we can now bring down his arm. And his arm, you could see the shoulders are on a double hinge that gives him the nice butterfly joint. And yeah, this tolerance here is a little tight. This side, yeah, you could see it's a little easier. That's one of my complaints with robot toys. They're not doing a very good job controlling the tolerance. I mean, engineering, everything's fine. It's just the tolerance is a little off sometimes. Oh, and then like I said, for beast mode, his tiger eyes should be orange to be tune accurate. So now you can lift that up and then rotate these around, so now he has the orange eyes facing. So that's more tune accurate for robot mode. And now we have Tigatron in his robot mode, and if you want, you can now give him his handgun. And now I can show you some of the features that this comes with, which is the magnet that you need to light up the batteries, which I already installed in my unboxing first impressions video. And then here you can see now he does light up, but he actually has blue eyes. That was the blue eyes appeared, you know, in that episode where, you know, he was using this and then messing around with Megatron's head, you know, getting information from the Predacons. So that's actually not a very tune accurate colored eyes, and that's where now you can use one of these alternate 3 face plates here. So let me just show you. Here are the alternate faces. So you can pick one of these, and let's just use the standard default face. And all of these three, they do have the red, transparent red plastic for the eyes. So here you just untab it, and then you tab it in. And yeah, it's always hard doing things on camera because I'm trying to see what I'm doing and also trying to see if I'm capturing it all on camera as well. And like I said, one of the issues with robot toys is the tolerance. So this is the first time I'm putting this head on, and the tolerance for this tab is, look at that, it's really tight. Yeah, see, that's really tight. That's what I said. That's one of the issues with robot toys, their tolerance. There's nothing wrong with the engineering or the design. It's just they need to do a better job with the tolerance so you don't have issues like that. But anyways, maybe that was good that happened so you could see now. This should work, and now you could see he does have the more tune accurate red eyes. So that's cool. Let's take a closer look. You could see nice red eyes. And then his gun also does light up, and I already installed the batteries, and here you could see that's really cool. And so the Masterpiece doesn't have this, and you saw the transformation on here was so much easier. You could see how nicely sculpted, nicely proportioned, you know, the nice paint finish. So I don't know why there's an issue calling this mini Masterpiece. This to me is not a Legends. I mean, I think of all the other Legends figures that were made, and this just has so much more than those figures. But anyways, there's a look at that. And then there was an episode where, you know, he let's first take out his gun and then use this magnet. So I'll show you could turn the lights off. Let's turn off his eyes here. Now he looks dead without the red eyes. But they did give you the missiles that appeared in the episode where, you know, he was firing this, and this just simply tabs in. And let's see, it just is this going to be a tolerance issue again? Yeah, it's a little tight, but yeah, now you could see, you could kind of replicate that scene where he was firing the missiles off of his forearms. So that's cool. And then let me find the head back again, the blue eyes, so I can kind of replicate that scene from the cartoon, because I told you the blue eyes, this one was, you know, that episode where he was going into the, he went into the Predacon. Oh man, I have to pop off the head because, like I said, the tolerance here is really tight. And then this one, it pops in really easy. So again, I sing again and again, the tolerance issues, what they need to work on. And then here, this was from that episode where, I don't know what you call this, but this, is this going to be a tolerance issue also? This just is supposed to tab into the side of his head. And, yeah, this looks like it's another tolerance issue here, trying to get things to tab in. Yeah, let me get a good grip here, and well, let's do it this way. Let me pop off his head, and I guess it's good showing it to you this way so I can just confirm everything that I've been saying. The issue here with robot toys is not their engineering, not their quality of the plastic, it's the tolerance. They just don't put in the effort to fix the tolerance on these things, so that's really annoying. But you just have to be aware of it, and then you can work around it. And then here, I don't know which hand it's supposed to go in, but his hands, I didn't go over the articulation with the hands, I mean this figure, but let's see if I can open this up, the tolerance again. So I think he is supposed to hold this on his left hand, I think. And it's so small. I'm trying to also capture this on camera. And then this one again, need to try to get this to tab in, all just to kind of replicate that scene. So now you could see, and during that scene he did have the blue eyes, so that's why I swapped it out. So if you want, you can kind of replicate that scene where he was spying on the Predacons, and I think that's what this is for. Unfortunately, this is not a puzzle piece like the masterpiece where you can move it around, and I did unscrew it to see if this had some light features, but no, this is basically just Megatron's head sculpted. So this is just an extra accessories. So anyways, this is a look at you know, some of the features, the lights that this comes with, and maybe it was good that you know, all the issues I was having, just so I can point out, you know, that's one of the issues with this figure, is that they need to do a better job fixing the tolerance. But anyways, here is a look at Tigatron in robot mode. And now let's take a closer look at all the details. So here you could see the head nicely sculpted, nicely proportioned, that nice turquoise metallic paint there, nicely sculpted head. I don't know if I think I went over all of the articulation on the unboxing first impression, so I won't go through all of it. I'll just do a quick rough overview. So you could see he has butterfly joints. It can go out to the side all around. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow bend, waist rotation, nice ab crunch for legends or mini masterpiece. Thighs can go forward, back, double jointed knee, which I actually like. I think it's really cool. Foot can go up and down. Leg, foot does have ankle rotation. So this has a full range of articulation. So this is really a nice figure, other than you know, the tolerance issues. So now let's do some comparisons. And for some comparisons, let's bring out the original, the Takata Tomy Telemoka. And I laugh because, yeah, one of the issues with this is that his head is kind of hiding. So proportions are a little off here. But anyways, here you could see what I was telling you, the original version, and it has a green head with a silver face mask, which is not very tune accurate. So this one with the green face is tune accurate. And yeah, unfortunately, yeah, this one wasn't made all that well in terms of like their proportions, but it's still, you know, it's still a nice original figure, kind of fun to play with. I have to kind of put him down so you could see his head a little bit better. And then there was the Kingdom version, and yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So here you could see the difference between these three, what these all look like next to each other. And then there is the masterpiece, which I said I was not going to transform because, yeah, I don't want to go through all this big old mess just to transform this. Yeah, my videos don't do so well, so yeah, I don't know, you know, how, you know, much work I should be doing for them. But anyways, here you could see what all of these look like together. And then I'll do one more comparison. Let's bring out some of my current mini masterpiece Legends figure. And for one last comparison, let's bring out their Cheetor. So here you could see what these two look like and scale next to each other. Like I said, these scale really nice. Tigatron was always bigger than Cheetor. And then Optimus Primal, here is the Takata Tomy Telemoka version. And I think this scales pretty well, in my opinion. So here you could see what he looks like. And then there was the Takata Tomy Rhinox, and Rhinox was always a little bit bigger than Optimus. So yeah, I think this scales pretty well. And then who else was there? There was Transform Elements version of Rat Trap, and here you could see what this scales like. And here I think Rat Trap is a little bit too big, so maybe Robot Toys will give us a Rat Trap. And then there is the Takata Tomy Henkei version of Rhinox, and Rhinox was bigger than, Dinobot, and Dinobot was always a little bit taller than Rhinox. And then last was Air Razor. So here is the original Kenner Air Razor, and she's too big and not really nicely sculpted to be very tune accurate. So we definitely need a new Air Razor in the Legend scale or mini masterpiece. So here you could see what these guys look like together. So let me see if I can spread them out a little bit more so we can get a better group shot of all these guys together. And you could see what this looks like. This is a really nice set, in my opinion. So anyways, that's it. I'm just gonna end my review here with the Robot Toys version of Tigatron in a Legend scale mini masterpiece form. So this is a really nice figure. Nicely sculpted, nicely proportioned, nicely painted, good quality plastic, the full range of articulation. The engineering for the transformation is really well, except you just have to know what you're doing right here to be able to rotate that around. The only issue is just the way they controlled the tolerance. That's something I think they could do a better job. But if you're aware of it and you know how to get around it, then there's no issues. And then there is the light feature that this has, which I think is really cool. I just don't know how long these light features are going to last. But yeah, that's nice to have. So with that, I'm just going to end my review and just tell you that this is a nice figure. I'm really happy to have it for, you know, your Beast Wars fans out there who do like the Legend scale Beast Wars figure. This is definitely a really nice figure. And in terms of a rating, I'm going to give this a rating of a 8.9 out of 10. This is a really nice figure. So that's it. That's my final review for Robot Toys. Was it RT-04 Zhou? Their version of a Legend scale mini masterpiece Tigatron.